Hey, just because you don't hit the ball as far as you want to doesn't mean that you have to throw your entire golf swing out. And it's probably not a fitness issue either, so you probably don't have to start going to the gym and lifting lots of heavy weight in order to hit the ball farther. But instead, it can often be traced back to a very simple, subtle, what we might call a power leak. Now, there's some of these that are not talked about very much by either instructors, and they're not known by very many students who hit the ball short. And yet these little things sap you of so much power. So right after this, let's talk about another one of the top secret power leaks that I often encounter. And let's see how you can use it to hit the longest drives of your life. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve with HitItLonger.com. I hope I can show you how to hit it longer and straighter. All right, so earlier we've talked about a couple other of these, quote, top secret power leaks. We've talked about how a correctly positioned left thumb can get you lots of leverage when you're snapping the wrist for speed. Another one is the positions of the elbows at address that can be covered with a simple pec grab. Instead of the chicken wing address position, get the elbows out here a little closer together. Now, the third one we're going to talk about has also to do with the setup, as often when I see a new student, I can tell if they're going to be a short hitter or a long hitter simply by the way they set up. So before they ever take the club back, they've already revealed pretty much how far they're going to hit the ball. Now, most golfers who hit the ball shorter than they want will set up improperly with the shoulders and the hips at address, and it leads right into a power leak, not necessarily of club head speed, but distance efficiency. In other words, you're getting the club head speed, you might even be getting the ball speed, but you're not getting the distance. So let's take a look at how the average golfer I see sets up something like this. So you can see that my shoulder line is clearly open, and my right shoulder and my right hip are a little either level or a little bit higher than my left hip and my left shoulder. And what that often leads to is straight into the power leak. These errors of grip and setup make correct or more efficient motion feel unnatural. They make poor motions feel very natural, and that goes with this one. I'm going to take the club and I'm going to cut across, and I'm going to probably hit a low pull or a big banana slice, and it is a very inefficient way of striking the ball out there for distance. So we want to reverse that. Instead of having the right shoulder high and out over the target line, let's make a simple little adjustment at address. I want to show you from the face-on angle what I'm going to do here. Instead of just putting my right arm over the top like a lot of golfers do, especially slicers, we'll grip it like this. They're immediately in trouble right at address because of this right arm and shoulder position. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do a little bit of a left hip lateral bump, flexing my right knee towards the center, just like that. That tilts the spine, tilts the hips, therefore tilts the shoulder. The right knee is now shorter, or the leg is shorter than the left, allowing me to continue dropping my right shoulder and my right hip at the moment of address. Now, once I've done this little move, this little bump, it's more natural for me to reach for the right hand grip more underneath than on top, just like this. And that's going to help me keep my shoulder line square. If you want to hit a high draw, and that's what you should work for if you want to hit the ball farther, is try to come a little on the inside, hit it on the way up, and try to hit a high draw for lots of carry and roll. You want to bias yourself by setting up the shoulders like this. It's simply a good exercise to reverse the short hitters process, which is over the top at address. So this is what it'll look like. I'm going to give the left hip and right knee a bump. dropping that right hip and shoulder down, and it's going to look something more like this. So now I look like I'm ready to make an uppercut from the inside into that ball. It will feel natural to make that kind of swing simply because of the way that I've adjusted my setup in my right shoulder and my right hip, simply by a little bump of the left hip and the left knee to tilt the spine at address. I would not do it this way like a lot of instructors will show you. They want you to just tip this way on a driver. I find that problematic in getting under the plane too much, bottoming out and drop kicking it. It's not a good way. It's a great way to start duck hooking it and pushing it. I don't like that way because it puts the low point too far behind the ball. So instead, I'm going to set up with the bump of the hip and the knee. That sets the shoulder. And now I'm ready to go. So let's give one a try. We'll see what it looks like when I set up to the shot. And there's a nice high draw for big power. Now looking back at that one in slow motion, you could see clearly my shoulders were either square with my intended line of flight or possibly slightly rightwards or closed, which is a good way to look at it if you're used to doing the other way. And I've got a drop of a few inches in order for me to correctly fit my right hand under the left on the grip and get the correct tilt of right shoulder and right hip so that I can uppercut it and make it feel natural to come in on what we might call the long driver's plane. So the best way you can work on this little adjustment is probably first in front of a full-length mirror behind you like this. And you can just simply practice the bump of the hip and the knee, getting the shoulders set up, check it in the mirror. Then you can take it to the range after that. And hopefully that will really get you over the hump when it comes to swinging at it from the inside and shallow. And I think you're going to get a ton more distance. Give it a shot. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I'm Steve. Please support the channel by subscribing. Help me get to 100,000 subscribers. Like this video if you got some value out of it, and leave some comments down below if you have any questions. And as usual, I will either see you in the next video or I'll see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.
Oh.